Hey, how you doing, guys? ZDEyE here. So today I wanted to discuss a very recent rumors that just happened for the Assassin's Creed. So if you have been following and checking out what would be the next Assassin's Creed game, and that was basically rumored to be Assassin's Creed Rift. Now we've got confirmation coming from Jason Schreier, so anything he says is pretty much confirmation at this point because he's been right with pretty much everything at this with all his sources and leaks that he's mentioned. And the next game will be called Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now, everything that's been mentioned regarding, kind of going back to basics, it is indeed true. There will be no leveling system. It will be set in the Baghdad, Iraq. Will be somewhere around 870 or perhaps 860 AD based age, that era. Starring will be Basim. RPG elements will indeed be scaled back, but not necessarily completely gone. There will be no dialogue options, and there also will be no multiple of those protagonists that you can choose, so there will be no a female or a male version of that. So actually, like I said, back to the roots of an Assassin's Creed games that we're familiar with. So there's going to be visions of Loki, there's going to be controlling of Basim, basically kind of going with a little bit of flashbacks. The Eagle Vision is said to will be indeed coming back. Drone Bird as well will be back. So of course some elements that have been introduced in the new Assassin's Creeds will indeed be coming back to here. This is great news obviously, but I'm very curious to see what can this Ubisoft team or the developers do with the back to basics, because they're so familiar with RPG-esque of these games of Assassin's Creed games now. So I'm curious to see what can they do in this case of going with the back to the basics of an Assassin's Creed games that a lot of people, myself included, really liked. I'm curious to see how much of a departure will it be for an Assassin's Creed like the originals, and comparing this to this Assassin's Creed Mirage. It's gonna be interesting for sure. I don't think I'm gonna be having my expectations going any higher than it is now. My excitement level isn't exactly very high either. With Valhalla release, I'm just pretty much confident to say that Ubisoft is all around is just a bad company now. They don't make good games any longer. It's just being continuously proven to the fact that they just don't know how to make games nowadays. They always being more or less of keeping safe, right? They don't take risks with their games. Far Cry is the main representation of that. If you say that Far Cry 6 is an excellent game, you're absolutely wrong, because this basically what you're saying Far Cry 3 is it's bad, because Far Cry 3 in my opinion is a very good game. 4, it's more of the same. 5 is more of the same. 6 is more of the same. So can we just keep on saying those are excellent games and ignore the fact that we're pretty much getting copy and paste? That definitely reduces the score by a whole lot, seeing 3 different installments from Far Cry 3 successful formula being implemented into Far Cry 4, 5 and now 6 once again. I would not be surprised if the next installment of Far Cry will be exactly the same as Far Cry 6 and by extra additional features. Assassin's Creed again is a fault of that too. Assassin's Creed Origin actually tried to reinvent something that Assassin's Creed is known to be, and I appreciate that. This is why I really liked our Assassin's Creed Origins. Valhalla took a step further than that as well, going a little bonkers in a lot of cases. But it was definitely, there was some fun elements in there, and that's why I ended up going for 100% completion, including the Origins. Valhalla, I only did it for the platinum because I was already going for the platinum on Origins and Odyssey, and now Valhalla, it's gonna be left behind. I just told myself, fuck it, I'll deal with this and I'll go through the trophies, and I'm just gonna try to ignore. I'm gonna listen to different videos, podcasts, and so I can just waste my time with this useless game, because Valhalla was in many definition of a bad game. It truly was. It was not that good. So this is why, after seeing and I believe Valhalla didn't actually do too well in terms of sales. It's also including the Dawn of the Ragnarok, the expansion or the DLC for well, more or less of a standalone game. That also did very poorly, and you know, it makes total sense why with Valhalla poor reception and now pretty much going exactly the similar route that Dawn of Ragnarok is. You know, it's just a definition of a disaster, and if you did not know what you wanted to do for that DLC, then well, here you go, now you know. But still, now being reinventing it back to its basics for an Assassin's Creed games like Assassin's Creed Mirage, that's why I'm saying it's going to be interesting what they will be able to implement here, because like a lot of developers have left from the original Assassin's Creed games that we love. Ezio I'm talking about especially, right? I believe that the last great, like truly great, I'm talking about Assassin's Creed, it's probably will be Assassin's Creed, the latest one anyway, it will be Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I don't believe any other newer versions of an Assassin's Creed after Black Flag was better than Assassin's Creed Black Flag. But if I have to say, previously Assassin's Creed Ezio games, like they were incredible. Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, yeah, I will include Revelations in here as well, why not? But other than that, it's gonna be interesting. That's all I got to say. There's really nothing else that I can actually comment on this. I'm just hopeful that they will be able to get their shit together, and you know, maybe it's a good thing as well that they're trying to reinvent it again. I guess it's not really, it's like going back to the roots, so how's this reinventing really, isn't it? It's interesting going to be from the new development team. Well, I say new development team, but I mean new developers themselves, not necessarily a studio, what they will be able to come up for this game. Alright, well, it's not going to be too long until we find out all these details. Since this leak is coming in now, you can definitely expect during the Assassin's Creed event coming in a few days, I will be sharing my thoughts about that event, or that showcase I should say, and you know, what I thought about that. Right, like and subscribe guys, see you guys all, and have a wonderful day.